I'm Hayley, Slier in southern Israel, and I'll be taking a look at how the role of women in the Israeli Defense Forces is changing.
For as long as Lizzie McNeil can remember, she wanted to be a soldier in the Israeli army. It's a rite of passage for teenagers in Israel, but uncommon for American girls like Lizzie to be drafted. With no family in Israel to support her and unable to speak Hebrew, she signed up with the Israeli army after finishing school, and 7 months on, hasn't looked back.
I thought it was really important that I did combat just because it was something in my heart, as cheesy as that sounds, because I wanted something that was challenging for my head and for my body, and something that I could take away. And I also wanted to try to give back to the Israeli society.
Lizzie is now part of a search and rescue combat unit. When she's not on saving mission during urban disasters, her unit is carrying out patrols in the West Bank. Given the country's small population, Israel is one of only a few countries in the world with a mandatory military service requirement for women.
First of all, we had generals, and I'm sure that in the future we will have more. We have now a general brigadier. We have not so a lot, but not so little. 10% of all the commanders from colonel and up are women. 10%. It's a lot, and it's something that's increasing. And I believe that one of the day, women can be a chief of staff.
For many years, combat positions within the Israeli Defense Forces were not open to women. However, in recent years, that has changed. The number of female combat soldiers has skyrocketed nearly fivefold in the span of 5 years.
I find that my definition of woman is someone who knows how to stand up for herself, someone who isn't afraid to speak, isn't afraid to be strong physically and mentally. And with that, I don't think that the emotional part or the heart of it all is in contrast. I think that it comes together. And that's what I think makes women soldiers so much more special even than men soldiers, because we bring those two worlds together into a combat, a warrior that can do it all.
Most ultra-Orthodox and some religious leaders have raised their voices in protest against women being drafted into the army. Others insist that women detract from the IDF's fighting capacity.
Some former military commanders say they fear that because women fighters are physically weaker than men, it reduces the army's effectiveness in war. A number of religious Jewish leaders also believe that a woman's place is in the home.
But the IDF brass insists that the growing political power of these ultra-religious parties do not affect their combat readiness.
The IDF doesn't deal with politics. We deal what we have to do in order to win the next war.
Many women see their service in the military as doing their part to help the IDF win that next war. They view serving time in the army as the best way they know how to serve their country. Hayley, Slier, CNA, Zikkim Army Base, Southern Israel.